Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. Welcome to my channel. It's my daily vlog, so whatever I'm up to is what you're gonna see here. And this morning I was working a little bit more on the sewing project of the Star Wars jacket that I started the other day. And I started doing it, and my plan was I was gonna finish cutting out all of the lining and the interfacing, and I was gonna show everybody what I was up to. Well, I cut out all the lining and that worked well, and I'll show you that. But I was cutting out the interfacing, and I thought I bought enough of it, and I did not. So I'm at a little bit of a standstill. The Joann's fabric is not very close to me, and quite frankly, I didn't feel like making another trip. So I had to order more interfacing. So while I'm waiting for that interfacing to arrive, I'm at a standstill on this project, so I may start juggling multiple projects at the same time and bouncing between different projects I'm working on. So I wanted to sort of explain what happened a little bit. The other thing is, I know a lot of times people will just show finished products and like, hey, I'm done, this is all neat and clean and pretty, and look at this, and this is very much a work in progress, and it has exploded all over my living room. And there are bits of project on the floor, on the couch, so there's a little bit of chaos going on right now, so I beg your indulgence on this. You know, I don't have a crafting room. I don't have space for such things. I wish I did, but I don't. So I work with what I got, and when I work on a project, it just kind of takes over. And that's what I have to work with. So let me sort of show you what I did, what I have to do, and where we're at. So I have bits of project on the floor, got my pins down there too. I got bits of project on the couch. I got my floofy blanket on the couch because it gets chilly and I need it in arm's reach. Got the pattern is on the couch. I had to fold up my little rug and move it out of the way. So this is what I have to work with when I'm doing a project. Now that we got the chaos out of the way, let me show you what I've done and what I'm up to. So everything on the couch is like, it's all the pieces that need to be cut out for that assigned piece are cut out. I'm trying to find a small one. Ah, here we go. So I was looking for a smaller piece so I could show you easily. So this is for piece number 11. And on piece number 11, it says fabric cut 1. It says interfacing, it says fabric cut 2, interfacing cut 2, and lining cut 2. So for this one piece, we need to cut it out twice on 3 different types of material. So what does that mean? Okay. I use this white fabric for lining. So I have 2 cut out for lining. I use the blue fabric for the main fabric on this one. So 2 cut out in the main fabric. And then I have interfacing, which is like the stiff stuff. This is what's going to give it body and shape. Think about like the collar of a shirt has a stiff feeling compared to other parts of a shirt. That's interfacing. So even though on the pattern it's just one piece, sometimes you have to do that one piece multiple times, or multiple times in different types of materials. So now I'm going to start clearing this up and organizing it, because I'm going to have to kind of store it for a few days until the rest of the interfacing arrives. So I'm just trying to line these all up so I can have a nice, neat little pile. And then we put this one. Take the lining pieces, and we do that, and then I take my pattern piece. So now I have them all here, and this is sort of like a little sandwich of pieces. So I have pattern piece, the lining, the fabric, and the interfacing. And they're all stacked up and organized. Basically, I want to organize the rest of what's behind me on this couch in the same way and put them aside in a safe place until the next bit of interfacing arrives. Part of the reason why I have to wait for the interfacing to arrive and I can't move on to the next steps in assembling and then go backwards is the very first step is attaching interfacing to the fabrics. So without having enough interfacing, I'm pretty stuck. I can't advance in assembling this at all without having the correct amount of interfacing. So I gotta wait. I gotta be patient. You know, one day I will figure out how to get enough of the materials I need. I know it says it on the back of the package, and I try, but the problem I run into is I oftentimes have supplies at home already. And I'll be like, oh, I have, you know, a yard of that at home, so I only need 2 yards instead of needing 3 yards. And then I get home and I don't actually have a yard of it. And or I have like 3/4 of a yard and it's not big enough for the piece. So that's my bad. That's my bad. That's my crafting problem that I'm working on. One day I'll figure it out. But I also have this like thought process of like not wanting to be wasteful, and I don't want to buy more than I need either. So trying to strike this balance between the two is not always easy. But let me organize that. But let me show you the pieces that I didn't have enough for and why I couldn't like squeak this together. Like sometimes you're like, oh, well, I could take some scraps and kind of like puzzle piece it together. This huge thing. This skirt-like piece. I need to cut out 2 of these. And I have enough interfacing to cut out about 1, but I would have to like put scrap interfacing on the corners to balance it out. Like, and I need 2. So there was and there's another piece. There's also this piece as well. This piece number 5, which is also a fairly sizable piece. Not quite as big as piece 13, but yeah, I didn't have enough for those. So I ordered more. It's on its way. It'll be here soon. But right now I have to clean up the chaos and be patient and wait for the interfacing to arrive. But we can also assess the other fabric I have and the projects, because I want to do projects made out of scraps. I have bins of scraps and I need to work through those scraps instead of just storing them. So after I clean this up, we'll take a look at some of those scraps that I have and we'll kind of decide on what we're going to do with them. This organized now. This pile still needs interfacing cut for it. This pile has all of the pieces already cut out and is good to go. So that wasn't so bad. When you're when I fold that all up like that, I do it very, very gently. This probably is not the best technique for doing this, but it's a technique that I'm used to doing and works for me. I am self-taught, so a lot of things I do might not be the actual way of doing things, but they're ways that work for me and they get the job done. So this technique, it keeps it organized because I'm not creasing anything when I'm folding it up like that. I'm just doing a loose roll, and the pattern and all of the pieces stay together, it stays organized, and it's very easy for me to pick back up when I'm ready to resume the project. So that's my technique for that. So I'm gonna go find a safe place for those to live until the interfacing comes in. Probably gonna get a bag. I'm gonna put the finished pieces at the bottom, the not finished at the top, and I'll put that off with my crafting supplies. So I have these two bins of scrap fabric. I have them separated. This one is labeled high quantity fabric scraps, and this one is smaller. So basically it's exactly what it sounds like. If there are scraps that I don't necessarily have enough to do a full project, you know, like, what is this? This is like a single strip. You know, I can't do a full project out of this, but I could probably do something with it. You know, same thing there. Have little patch of fire, you know, like I have all sorts of different fabrics in here. Also, I think this was getting a little full, so then I have a few like this Winnie the Pooh fabric, which is really adorable. Look, they're like besties. It's like Pooh and Eeyore and Tigger. Look how cute that is. And then my mom got me this, like this Grim Reaper kind of creepy Halloween-y, totally Mercury type fabric. So I have to figure something out with that. Then these ones here came out of a pack of the squares that you can get, and the quilting squares. So it's a Halloween theme pack. So I have all those. I have some leftover Star Wars and Disney. I used this originally to make ears for when I went to Disney World last time. Some stitch fabric in there. So I have a lot of sort of odds and ends fabric in here, and I'm not really sure what to do with it. And these fabrics are sort of that mentality of, well, it might be useful, so I don't want to get rid of it. And don't ask me how long I've had some of these. And sometimes, like, I'll find a cut of fabric that I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I'll figure something out to do with it, and it's still in the bin. I can show you, I can see a piece that's exactly what happened with. I found in the scrap bin. So Joann's has a scrap bin. So basically, like, if somebody goes in, gets a piece of fabric cut, then they realize that they don't need it and they return it. Well, it's already cut. They have a bin of cut fabric. I'm like, this is cool. It's like animal print, like kind of leopardy over here and tiger-like over here. And it has a little bit of stretch to it. I was like, this is pretty cool fabric. I'll figure something out to do with it. I'm wondering if this has a date on it. Oh my gosh, if this is right, if this is correct, if that date is right, 2012, 10 years ago, and I haven't figured something out yet. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Fortunately, I don't do that very often. These two bins I showed you, that's it. Those are my two bins of scrap fabric. I have one other box with faux fur and pleather, which I need to figure something out with. But those were not like whimsical purchases. Those were I ordered fabric for a project. I used it for the project, and I ended up with a lot left over. It's sort of the opposite of the interfacing. I bought way too much, and this is probably why. I try to underbuy instead of overbuy, because I don't want to end up with like tons and tons of leftover. So there was a time that I had gotten red faux fur I made the red dress that Jadzia Dax from Star Trek DS9 wore at the wedding ceremony. And I made a cosplay of that costume, and I still have it. I still wear it when conventions are safe to go to again. I will wear it again. So I needed that for the sleeves. I ordered way too much of it, and red faux fur is not something that is called for in a lot of projects. So if anyone has any ideas of something I could do with red faux fur, please let me know. I was thinking pillows, but they're kind of like very 1960s, 1970s, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It doesn't really go with my look here. But hey, if anyone has any ideas for what I should do with some red faux fur, shout it out. Put a comment below, because I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, so I do have one other box of stuff like that, but this is not out of control, but I would like to put this to use and actually work through it. So I do have some loose ideas. I could do like, I could do a quilt where it's just sort of, hodgepodge, a little here, a little there, and kind of go off color theme and not necessarily matching fabrics, and just kind of like do it piecemeal. I could do that. I saw, like, as an idea to make like a heating pad where you put the rice and the essential oil, and then it's like a microwavable heating pad. So I saw that as an idea. So little pouches or totes or bags, and you could do it like patchwork. So even though it might call for more fabric, more yardage, if I do it as patchwork, I could like sew together 2 or 3 or 4 different types of fabric to equate to one piece. So that's another option. So I have some ideas. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with which fabric just yet, but some thoughts floating around, and we'll see what comes of it. But for now, that's what I'm up to today. Just kind of cleaning up, organizing, strategizing, and yeah, I'm at a standstill with my Star Wars jacket till that interfacing comes, but hopefully it won't take too long. So with that, I am done for today, and I will see you all tomorrow. And until then, stay inspired by. Take care.